Hello, everyone, and welcome to Unit 2 Critical Responses. So far we've learned how to analyze situations. So, let's kind of talk about how we respond to these rhetorical situations. Sorry about that. There we go. A critical response. We have two really strong root words in this unit to respond and to criticize. And to define responding means to bring attention to our thoughts and opinions on a rhetorical argument and situation. And to criticize means to professionally and respectfully discuss our thoughts and opinions on a rhetorical argument or a rhetorical situation. So basically, what this means is that it's not enough to have just thoughts and opinions on a matter. We should also strive to formulate and discuss our thoughts and opinions in a way that's professional, respectful to the topic and the professional space at hand, and kind of do so with stylistic intention and awareness to the body as a whole. So what we're going to do in this unit is explain, how to do that. And I have some handy steps for you all. And step one will be probably the most important, and that is recognizing fallacies. Again, everything is a rhetorical situation. Everything is a rhetorical project. Everything that you hear, say, or do has rhetorical power around it. And there are fallacies that can help hinder that rhetorical message. So always be aware of the fallacies that may be at work, both in the rhetorical situations that you experience and the rhetorical situations that you create. There are many fallacies out there that exist, just a lot. But they all fall into these three broad categories: ethical fallacies, emotional fallacies, and logical fallacies. So, ethical fallacies are an attempt to discredit based on subjective ethics and beliefs. Emotional fallacies are usually emotionally charged conflicts or convictions, and logical fallacies are usually just invalid, insufficient, or poorly explained research. And it's your job as a rhetorician to examine and acknowledge these fallacies and to avoid these fallacies when you're, creating your own thing. Step two would be make an alternative claim. So make an alternative claim, not so much against it, but alternative claim that's supported with evidence and reason. Okay. Step three would be to identify the audience and use this to help draft your response. So, when we are professionally responding to things, it's really important that we are aware of the body that we're talking to. So, who's our audience when we're responding? How does this audience usually discuss things? What format do they use? In this class, we'll be using essays, but be aware of your rhetorical situation, at all times. And step four would be to organize all of these elements into a well organized presentation in paper. And organization is the next important element to our unit. So, we're building an argument. And the way to build an argument, or the way I want you to build an argument for this class, is to introduce the topic and make the claim, identify the fallacies in the argument, and conclude with relevant points. So, what I would like you to do is tell me what it is you're talking about and make your claim. The claim doesn't have to be groundbreaking, just tell me what it is that you're identifying. So this will be your introduction. Number two, identify the fallacies in the argument. This is usually your body. And then conclude with relevance points. This is the conclusion. Just a quick note. In your critical responses, you are not creating a new argument. Instead, you are simply responding to critical works, pointing out the fallacies, and making sound claims. So I have an example for you all. So we have the bandwagon fallacy here. And the definition is actually really simple. It states that just because a significant population of people believe a proposition is true doesn't automatically make it true. Popularity alone is not enough to validate an argument, though it's often used as a standalone justification of validity. Arguments in this style don't take into account whether or not the population validating the argument is actually qualified to do so, or if contrary evidence exists. While most of us expect to see bandwagon arguments in advertising, i.e., 3 out of 4 people think X brand of toothpaste cleans teeth best, this fallacy can easily sneak its way into everyday meaning and conversation. And just a quick example down here. The majority of people believe advertisers should spend more money on billboards, so billboards are objectively the best form of advertisement. So to break all of that down, long story short, the bandwagon fallacy is just a claim that if this many people believe it, then it must be true, and that is a fallacy because it may not be true. Just because everyone is kind of, believing one thing doesn't automatically make it true. So, with that, I'll introduce you to your readings. There are many fallacies, and your reading for this unit is reading 1, and it is just a list of fallacies. There will be many. There's the bandwagon fallacy I just showed you. There's the ad hominem fallacy. There are just like a lot of fallacies. So make sure you do this reading. The optional reading 2 is an expanded list of fallacies. So if you're interested or you want to find even more fallacies that you can use for your assignment that I'm going to introduce in just a little bit, you can take a look at that. But with that, let's kind of go ahead and introduce your critical response assignment. So what I would like you to do for this unit assignment is to identify a rhetorical argument that has the fallacies mentioned above. I would like you to name these fallacies and respond to them in an essay of 1 to 2 pages. And remember to keep in mind the organization I just talked about. What I would like you to do is introduce the argument first of all, then introduce your claim or introduce the fallacies that you believe are present, and then tell me how those fallacies hurt the argument or the rhetorical message. So what are these fallacies doing that is damaging the work as a whole? Why are these fallacies bad, and why do you think they do not belong in a paper? But I also want you to do it, respectfully and with form. So that is your critical response assignment. And with that, we can conclude Unit 2. Thank you so much for joining me for Unit 2. I will do another live explanation. But with that, I'd like to bid you all a farewell. Make sure you turn that in whenever you get the chance, and I'll grade it as soon as I can. Bye.